Thank you, Val. Thank you, Anna. Wow. I'm going to take it in for a second. This is great. As a matter of fact, I'm reminded about something here just in this moment as kind of a little bit of a flash, because a few years ago when we were celebrating, my family and I, my late beloved father's last birthday on this planet, he was just about to blow out the candles, and he looked up and he said, "You are all golden." And as I stand here before you now, I know exactly what he meant. You are all golden. And I'm not on drugs. Well, it's a pleasure to be here with all of you. And thank you for allowing me into your space this evening. And I want to have a big thank you to Loa, to Dave and Eric. It's just so cool getting to know you guys, getting to know your community. And so thank you very much. It's really great. And how about this great new space here in town? This is a lot of fun. This is really cool. So anyway, tonight I'd like to share with you a little bit about my journey from being an Earth conqueror to being an Earth preservationist. And we're going to talk a little bit about what I'm doing, but really going to focus a little bit about what I'm being, because they become one in the same things. And so I invite you on a journey with me to hear a little bit about how I've come from Adam 1.0 to Adam 2.0, and for whatever it's worth. And anyway, so here's my front page right now. It'll kind of give you a little glimpse into my inner world, my inner headlines, so to speak, and some of the things that I am really concerned about that's happening on this planet at the moment. Right now, there's 49 million Americans that live in poverty. 16.7 million of them are children. 1 in 5 children each and every day in America at some point in time goes hungry. Hard to believe, but true. Children. 2, a few weeks ago, the Department of Agriculture released a study that showed that beehive colonies declined last winter 31%. As we know, these little worker bees are the ones that pollinate our food. No food, no bees, no food. My goodness, pretty serious issue. As a matter of fact, in California, the production of almonds and nuts declined so dramatically that prices have nearly tripled now. And this is all because of a pesticide. And this pesticide is produced by the biggest producers, a company called Bayer. And these are the people that brought us poison gas in World War II, and now we are poisoning our food, and we are poisoning Mother Nature. 2, food. 3, just a couple weeks ago, some of you probably heard that scientists, for the first time ever, revealed that CO2 levels in the atmosphere are now reach 400 parts per million. And this is the threshold that they all said would be the place where there was no looking back. You think we've seen climate change? We haven't seen nothing yet. 4, you probably heard about the plight of these young ladies, these young women in the Midwest that were abducted, tragically for over a decade. And in no disrespect to them, but for much of my life, perhaps for decades, I too felt abducted, although the abductor for me was my own ego. It was my own narcissistic, self-serving, predatory capitalist ways. The best news of all that gives me so much hope and so much promise for tomorrow, it's in the kind of the little finer print. And it comes on the heels of 2012. And as a matter of fact, it's not what self-help people want you to hear. And you don't want to be the last one to get this news. But we are all enlightened. Whatever that means for you, we are all enlightened. Everybody in this room, everybody in this town, everybody in this state, Everybody in this great country of ours and all around the globe, we are all enlightened. There's only one problem. Most of us don't know it. Now, the Dalai Lama has been speaking a lot to this. You may have heard him say they are ignorant. They are ignoring the greater truth of their enlightened state of being. So I have to confess to you tonight, for much of my 52 years on this planet, I too was ignorant. I had a problem. And it wasn't just any old problem. As a matter of fact, at one point I thought I may be better off dead than going on living and ignoring this problem. It was serious. I was in imminent danger of losing my humanity. And I guess the upshot of that is that I would probably be starring in that HBO series, The Walking Dead, right now. But I'm not. I'm here. And the problem that I decided to address was the problem of my separation from my true nature. And that I was seeking to be somebody rather than the person I truly was. My friends, I am deeply concerned that our humanity has such a problem right now. I feel that we have become so separate from our true selves, not just economically, not just among nation states that are warring. And I'm not just talking about the environment, which is my passion and my heart and who I am, but that is really imbalanced. I am talking about the imbalance between our hearts and our minds. Now, we may differ as to the severity of this problem, but I think we can all agree that our culture has become full of greed, that environmental degradation threatens our way of life and perhaps our very existence. In addition to this, inequality has risen its head again. Although it's not racial, we still have that, but there's a new form of inequality that I see happening. And it's the enslavement of our humanity's desire to be free by the tyranny of our society's addiction to wealth and power. And that wealth and power happens to be in the hands of a few. And if you're not one of the few, you're shit out of luck. Now, there's nothing wrong with wealth and power. I'm not saying anything like that. But when it's imbalanced against our true nature, then it's at our expense of all of us and the well-being of who we are. Of the 10 million species on this planet, there is only one that doesn't get it. There is only one that is killing off the rest. There is only one that is endangering itself. I guess, and apparently, that maybe we are the last ones to know. Will we be the next ones to go? Wow. It just is a big wow, how powerful the universe is. I'm deeply concerned that we may become an endangered species ourselves. And that is why I stand before you now. That is why I dedicated my life to being an Earthkeeper and doing good on this planet, because I wasn't always doing that. That is why I wrote this book. But I ask each of you, do you have an inward treasure that is born within you that'll keep you alive in the event the system as we know it breaks down? That's worth repeating. Do you have an inward treasure that is born within you that will keep you alive in the event the system as we know it breaks down? Well, I got to confess to you folks, I had no clue about this inward treasure for much of my life. As a matter of fact, I was living the picture-perfect life, the quintessential American dream. I married my junior high and high school sweetheart. I have 3 gorgeous, amazing daughters. Built the big house, successful business, joined the country club, traveled around, but guess what? Guess what? I was unhappy. Something was missing. I had the problem. So what did I do about it? Well, I adopted some of Einstein's wisdom. And Einstein said, and a lot of you know this, you cannot solve the problem from the place the problem was created. Make sense? You cannot solve the problem from the place the problem was created. So, I decided to solve the problem from the place that the problem was not created. And I wrote a book about it, solving that problem. And it's called The Earthkeeper, Undeveloping the Future. And it shares my personal journey from being an earth conqueror to being a preservationist. And along the way, I tap into not only my true nature, but my sense is the true nature of our humanity. That if I can first save myself from this problem, that perhaps I could be of greater service to myself, to my family, to my community, to our humanity, and to Earth. And that's why I'm here, to share with you tonight. And in addition to that, and amongst other things, the book shares the power of undevelopment. Now, undeveloping the future, or undevelopment, is code for deconstructing the past. Now, I must say that my past and my life was living about today and tomorrow. However, that was greatly influenced by the events of my past. And the past happened to be full of fear and guilt and pain and shame and all that stuff that we all know a lot about. Yes, I had fleeting moments of love and happiness and fun and celebrating my life, but I still had the problem. So, I went into nature. This is the only way that I knew, and she called me. And when I connected with Mother Nature, she revealed to me some of the greater power of the universe and some of the greater gifts that the universe has to offer. And when I aligned with the earth, it became about thriving. It became about dreaming my world into being, and not about simply living to only someday die. So it's been a great journey, and ultimately the journey has taken me back to honoring the earth and honoring the gift that I received, and to be present for our preservation not only of our humanity but of our greater earth as a whole, and in particular right here in California and across the United States. And it's been an amazing ride, because ultimately it was about reinventing my business credentials where I could fully understand the quadruple bottom line of people, planet, profits, and bringing peace to these communities in this part of my industry that I'm in. That pretty much is a predatory business, and it's a dinosaur business, and I'm not always welcome where I go and speak these days amongst many of my compatriots that are in this business today. They look at me in a funny way sometimes, but it just brings a smile to my face. Well, anyway, just in conclusion here, something that touches my heart so dearly, and that is, if you are love will grace your life with joy. If you project hate, hate will find you wherever you may go. If you have compassion in your heart, the world will grace your life with compassion as well. If you are angry, anger will find you wherever you go. If you are seeking peace, look no further than the mirror, for peace is seeking you right now. And I have a dream. I have a dream here. We live in a time of great promise, both on a personal level and a collective level, and just being able to bring it into the world that seems ostensibly full of war and chaos and showing up as who we are. And that's fine to make a profit. Hopefully you're doing some good as well. But here's the thought here, is I have a dream for each of you, that each of you realize your dream and not that of others. I have a dream that our humanity breaks free of the tyranny of yesterday and realizes the promise of our enlightened self and the promise that this great earth offers us. I have a dream that each of you find peace and certainty and love in your life, in your home, and in your community right now. I have a dream that our postmodern society that we are now entering into at warp speed, that we love and honor and cherish the Mother Earth. And I have a dream that we collectively, as stewards of this great planet of ours, that we leave this place a better place for our children and their children. It's been great to be here with you. We are the ones we've been waiting for. May you all dream boldly. Let's keep the earth. Let's keep it wild. Thank you very much, and bless all of you.